What's up, everybody? A Spare with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Empyrion, Galactic Survival. We are back on our creative build today. We're going to be messing about a bit more with this design here, and as you can see, I've updated my game to Alpha 7, which adds a lot of cool new features, actually, including this new redesigned warp drive, which does look cooler. I gotta be honest, it just does. But particularly, at least in my opinion, building mechanic-wise, it added some cool stuff, though there was some things I did not know about from the get-go. For example, Max, I'm not really sure how it's supposed to be said, 524, told me a couple of different things that were pretty cool. The first being, I don't actually need the multi-tool to get rid of blocks. If I have a block in my hand in Creative, you can hold Shift and then right-click, and it will delete. However, it does not put it back in your inventory in case you were trying to do that. So that'll speed things up quite a bit. The other thing is, it was different for Alpha 6 whatever, but for 7 they changed the end menu. Now this is set up a little bit differently. We've got all of the debug stuff, the show integrity and oxygen and all that stuff on a different menu, and then we have a building one. First of all, this thing is freaking beast. That, like, Space Engineers needs to take note of this and do this, like, immediately, because it's amazing. So, one of the biggest things that this did was it added this menu that may have been in the game before, but I was not familiar with it if it was. The selection allows you to, as the name implies, select something, right? Multiple things. Now, I haven't quite figured out how to unselect things. Like, if I turn that off, it kind of like stays there. So I'm not really sure how to turn that off, per se. But for example, this is pretty cool. Actually, you know what? We'll test it out on this over here, since this is kind of my design floor plan thing. So say I wanted to move this up. Now, I'm going to try and play around with this, but I don't know how this is going to work. So, we have a... Actually, I don't know what's going on. I might be selecting something all over the place. No, it doesn't seem to be. Okay. What am I selecting? It's still highlighted over here, isn't it? Okay, now the selection actually went down. So, I'm still learning these tools, mind you. I don't know if you can shift right click or something. Okay, that cycles the options. What about selecting something else? Oh my, don't do that. I don't know what I just did. Shift clicked somewhere else and bad things happen. Okay, so I've got to figure out how to basically not do that. I don't know how to deselect things. That's the biggest issue that I'm running into with this. Let's try turning it on and selecting this. No, that didn't work. Alright, so give me just a minute. I need to figure out how to deselect things. Alright, so it's official. I have no idea how to deselect that at all. So, what it basically does, though, it is really cool. You can actually move this little box around as a selection box kind of thing, and you can click on this and you can scale it up and down. I tried, like, scaling it all the way down and stuff, and it still wouldn't unselect. And then you have, like, the rotate thing, which doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot, but then you can move it around, all this kind of stuff, and once you've got it where you want it, for example, like here, you can do a copy, you can cut, you can paste that back in, you can move that block around, like there's all kinds of stuff you can do, which that actually seems to have turned off the selection mode, sort of, kind of, not really, because now it's stuck on a block. You can remove selection. Ha! There we go. So basically, I could copy this block, could move it over one, I could paste that block, and then I could click on something. Wait, what? What happened? Where'd the paste thing go? Oh, I guess you have to, like, exit out first. It is really neat, though, like, once I get the hang of it, how this actually ends up working. Okay, so there's that. We'll paste. Let's try and turn that off now. I don't get that. It's like, once it's there, it has to stay there or something. It's really weird. Paste. And if I move that, it moves the block, and if I remove it, it removes the selection. Oh, you have to double hit paste. Oh, I see. You can paste it, and then you can move where you want it, showing you where it can go. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so then if we hit remove, there it goes. Got it. Sweet. So, that was probably a very long way of doing that, but anyway, it's pretty awesome, though, that you can move that around like that. For example, we could actually replicate this whole thing, like copy it all and move it over here, or delete it all. So that's a really cool new feature that you can use. You can also save it, paste it, rename. What were some of the other options? Copy to selection, replace, save to list, etc., and so on. Scale, move, all that stuff. And I was also shown how the symmetry plane works. So again, in Alpha 6, you have to, like, hold N. Now you just press it. So we'll turn the symmetry plane on, and then if you select none, nothing's there. If you select these, it shows up on the plane. But with a block, or when you click on things, for example, this one doesn't seem to have a thing. So you click here, and it'll go there. Now you can click and drag, and it'll change where the axis point actually is. The weirdest one, though, is when you do X, or Y and Z. If you hold, you can actually go off to the side, which is really weird. I'm not really sure what that's about. But if you want it in the middle, there's the middle, there's the middle, and I believe that's the middle? Yeah. And it does go basically whatever way it's facing. So if I do a block here, it'll show up over there, and if I switched it to X and Z, you'll get a block like that, Y and Z. I mean, you guys get it. And deleting works the same way. However, if it's like this, yeah, it doesn't delete the other side. So, that's important to know. Okay, so, and I guess you have to click none for it to disable. So, the idea here is this is basically the floor plan, but I'd like to actually not start over, but kind of start with a more detailed version of this build and try and do a bit more thoroughly. These proportions and everything are a little bit off, so we're going to try and build it the way that we want. Now, I have it sitting on a base so that we can do some underside stuff. However, I'm going to be saving it periodically because I really don't know how, if we get really far out, if it'll just tip over and fall over. Tentatively, I'll probably be making little spikes off of the base to hold it up, type of thing, like so. For now, just as kind of a mid-layer placement. And actually, once we get the power and stuff in place on the thing, we should be able to actually have it fly itself. Now, Zeal Warrior Gaming had mentioned, isn't it easier to build this in space? It probably is. The reason I wanted to build it down here is I don't know exactly how Empyrion deals with gravity and atmosphere and stuff, so I'm kind of trying to build it within the atmosphere just to make sure it flies within the atmosphere and doesn't crash and stuff. Let me know what you guys think about that, as far as if Empyrion doesn't actually have an atmosphere system like Space Engineers where it has more gravity, or gravity doesn't apply to it, whatever. Let me know and we'll build it in space. But for now, to be on the safe side, I had decided to do it that way. Alright, now, on to the actual buildery. So, we're gonna need not that many. We're gonna need these. If I shift click, do these just... Okay, so these just delete. Let's just do that then. we'll just grab what we need as we need it. We don't need the multi-tool anymore. We'll do that, we'll do that. Let's see, fuel tanks. What do we have before? Oxygen tanks? So RCS fuel tanks, oxygen tanks should be what we need for the main, whatchamacallit. I still don't really know what, does this apply to the whole block? I still don't really know what the actual RCS things can do as far as if you have more than one of them, does it actually make it fly any better? I don't really know. But for now... Alright, so for here, we're going to turn the YZ plane on, I think. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, don't do that. That was really weird. Okay, so we're going to add this here. Let's see. I gotta double check and make sure. Because this actual engineering room type thing was fairly close to how I wanted it done. So it's 5x5? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I think it's 5x5. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Another row should do. 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, that should work. Okay. Oh, wow. I started doing some space engineer stuff, or medieval engineers, actually, where you can rotate with Q and E. Okay. Also, let me know in the comments and stuff if you guys think that's too many fuel tanks and not enough oxygen tanks or whatever. I really have not played that much with capital ships and stuff to where I don't really know what all is necessary for this kind of stuff. So we'll go ahead and do this part. We'll do this part. Now, this is the area where I was talking about before of kind of wanting to do this underneath, because we couldn't really do this before. And I'm not honestly sure if we can do anything without the base here. We might want to try it. Tell you what, we're actually going to try it. So what I'm going to do is get this set up. I'm going to save this really quick, and then we're going to remove this and see what happens. Okay. So it would seem... let's see. The last time I deleted one of these core things, it kind of crashed the game. So, no. I guess you have to do these one at a time. I was thinking you could kind of click and drag. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Turn off symmetry. Set that to none. Set this to selection. Click that. Alright, we're gonna test this out. See what we got going on here. So, if you click in the middle, you can also get the scale, or you can also cycle the tools. Okay. And then do like this. We'll go ahead and drag this down, get some of those other pillars out of the way, and we'll drag this up to about there. Alright, now cut. Remove selection. Turn that off. Well, there you go. Now, it is still seeing this as a base, unfortunately, so I'm not sure how to fix that one. That worked. Okay, so that's going to delete. Alright, cool. So, creative in Empyrion is very cool. is the short version of that, basically. There's a little bit more, to me anyways, there's a little bit more, how should I put it? What's the term? There's a term for it. Learning curve. There's a bit more of a learning curve to Empyrions than something like Space Engineers. But overall, I think Empyrion at this point has the more powerful tools. Space Engineers does not have that whole cut and paste thing and selection tool and all that, which is... On a small ship it wouldn't really matter, but on a big one, that could really save you a lot of time on some bigger builds. Here I am not using the mirror mode. Now I will say, it doesn't seem like Empyrion can do multiple planes at once, which is a cool feature of Space Engineers is... yeah, I guess that's technically proper. But that's not to say that Empyrion won't add it later. Okay, so at this point, we have essentially what we had before. Now I hope... Okay. I was trying to see that when I landed, if it didn't like connect the thing and then make it fall over. Okay, so at this point, menu freak out. At this point, we're basically where we were in terms of detail. Now, what I'd like to do is we discussed the detail and the shape and all that kind of stuff before, but this time I actually want to start building this kind of stuff in the actual area it's going to be in, type of thing, and the scale that it's going to be in. So we're going to keep this going as like a walkway, right? We'll go ahead and turn our headlamps on, and let's add some texture to this, because I'd like to see, and we are going to apply this to the whole block for now. We are going to apply this to the whole block. There we go. I don't actually know... I've never played around with some of these textures. I think this was the one... Yeah, this was the one we were... No. Nope. I really thought it was this one. There it is. So I think this is the one we were using before. Though it was a lighter color. Curious. Meh, whatever. We'll leave it that way for now. So what I'd like to do is basically paint anything that's floor space. Did that even work? There we go. There we go. I'd like to paint anything that's floor space with, actually, I read a forum post that said this won't work. But let's actually see if the texturing will apply in mirror mode. I don't know if that was for an earlier build of the game or not. Oh, it does work. Wow. Okay. Okay, okay. So essentially what I'm wanting to do, for any of you that haven't already figured it out, is I want to texture the whole blocks for anything that is a floor block that I'm walking on. And by doing that, it'll let me know if we've actually covered everything up or not. And as long, like, I'd like there to at least be a layer of metal around the floor space type of thing, if that makes any sense at all. Okay, now like I said, we don't need this to be a gigantic ship. I really want this to simply house what is needed, right? So what is needed is kind of relative as to what you want to do. I'm kind of thinking... Let's work on the engineering part, because we know that we're going to do that. As for weapon control and all that kind of stuff, we don't really have everything planned out and stuff yet. I personally don't even know what all I need, or if I just need a couple of ammo crates and slap some turrets on there and you're done, if you actually even need some kind of CIC or not. So... I don't really know why there's another checkbox there. It seems like it's just kind of active or not. That might be legacy. Oh, no, it automatically turned it on. Okay. So... Actually, what am I doing? Where is... Nope, it's in this. There we go. Okay, so let me turn this back for a second. Let me plan this out for a second, because I need to factor in the fact that these are going to go separate ways. I was thinking I was just going straight back. So give me just a second and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's what I've got so far. We've got some hallways here that are going to go to the, yeah, to the thruster wings things. And then I've got this big old area back here for the warp drive. Now, I factored it in. It's 5 wide by 3, or 3 by 5. I don't know actually which way it's supposed to go. So this could be sideways. That could be... This could be the front. I really don't know. But I did factor it in for 2 high, but I think I might go for 3, just to give us a little bit of breathing room, though it's not really necessary. Now, the other thing that I thought of is we may want to texture paint the walls in something similar, but not the same. Maybe like... Oh, isn't there other pages? There is. Okay, cool. Replace mode. Size. Oh, that's some new stuff, and they've added some things as well. Okay. What you? This looks like straight up Borg stuff. This is cool. I mean, it is green. Just saying. Let's see. The reason I was thinking of doing it this way, maybe we'll switch back over. I don't know. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, repeatedly it would get kind of old. That's not bad, though. I like that. Oh, that's kind of nice. Let's go with that for now. So the reason I'm saying to do this is because this will also show us what you can see from the inside of the ship. For example, if the walls that are exposed are actually like the other side of the wall is space, kind of thing. See, we have a floor block and then a layer, but we don't always do that with the walls. So I'm figuring if we texture all of the walls, even if we don't keep this texture, I wanted to do something that I kind of liked as a wall, just in case I decided to keep it. What happens if I do large, by the way? Ah, there we go. Now, the thing I don't know is if that goes vertical or not, because that could backfire on me. And not do... Oh, come on. Thank you. Yeah, that's the only thing, is I don't know if it's going in a large area or not. Oh, wow. Okay, well that worked. It's not retexturing the floor, or okay, yeah, okay, that actually did do the floor. Alright, let's do this as small again. That was kind of a whoops. Okay, and I don't know that I'm going to leave that the construction type texture or not either. Let's see, which one was that? This one? Okay. So this is a good example. You can see what I'm kind of going with there is, this is, well, actually, technically that should be done that way too. Let's see. I don't know if we're going to have any overlap here or not. I don't think it went too crazy. Like, it seemed to only be painting what's visible. If you guys are more experienced with the texture painting, let me know, because that would answer some stuff about that. So yeah, this I think will work fairly well, and now that it's done, I don't need to... Actually, I do want to go back... Maybe not that one. Ah, crap! Alright, let's see... It should be in line with this. Let's just make sure this is coming through. Yeah. and it's too tall from here. And this is basically the backside of the tanks. We also need to do the ceiling in there, and then we should be pretty good to go. And we did a layer on the bottom for the floor. Meh! Get in there. Okay. So we need to go one more over for the tanks. Let's actually just put a block here, because that's not really supposed to be visible. I guess I just didn't actually fix that. Alright. And then we'll do another row over here for the tank line. Alright, so now at this point, everything that is exposed should be textured. Except for that over there. Let's fix that. Apparently this did not work perfectly. Okay. So from here on out, we can build a little bit better as far as we don't actually have to do all of that texturing from now on. Because we'll know to do it while we're building. Okay. So I'm leaving the corner edges at the moment, mainly just because I'm not entirely sure. Really? 1 to 3? I hate it when it does stuff like that. But the main reason is because I'm not entirely sure how I want to do the outer hull. I showed you guys in the last episode, I have an idea of how I want to lay it out, but I don't really know, like, function over form wise, how that's actually going to go. Of trying to lay it out that way. So that's kind of a time will tell type of thing. And we'll just have to see how that goes. Because see, like in trying to add this extra layer of armor, if I did that after I'd already done the hull design and stuff like that, it would have adjusted how large the outer hull is and all that crap, so, you know. But overall, I'm happy with where this is going. I'm liking what I'm seeing. So we got everything covered up in armor. It's not perfectly, like, laid out wise yet, but it's covered, at least, so it's secured. Now we do have the issue with the warp room in here of, we don't really have that many places for lights, though we do have this extra border, so that should work, I suppose. And I'll probably have to get rid of some of this block and redo the floor texture, because that's just weird. For now, I haven't completely decided on, like, doors. Marker block, what is that? I don't think I've ever come across that before. I haven't really decided on doors yet. For now, we're gonna do... Let's do this one for the warp room, since it'll make it a bit more secure, but you can still see through the window kind of thing. And the rest of these, we're just going to do these glass ones, I think. And all of this interior stuff is subject to change, but we're just going to put these like so. I wonder, can I just leave these open? Or do they close back on their own? It'd be cool if they just kind of stayed open. Actually, this one I want to spin around the other way like this. That way we have kind of a sealed look to our stuff. Now, I remember a while back, there was an issue with the glass ones, or it was either an issue or it was designed that way to where they didn't actually seal, like they weren't actually airtight or something like that. I don't recall exactly, so that's something we may have to factor in. Alright, so the warp area is done, the engine room, or the engineering area is kind of done. Now, with the engineering area in here, we could put another set of RCS and have that be fine. So let me know what you guys think about that as far as if that's even necessary or not. If not, we'll take it out. But if so, it'll give us some extra maneuvering ability. So what I think we're going to do now is work on the thrusters. And by now, I mean probably the next episode, because I'm running out of time. But we're going to do this kind of shape thing. So for starters, I'm really thinking this ring may be... I haven't decided if the ring should be hollow or not. And if it's hollow, I was going to fill it with thrusters, kind of thing. But originally I was going to have the thruster area all in the center, and then this ring was just going to be decorative. The more I look at it, the more I'm kind of thinking forward and backward should be in the middle of this ring, and then the outer band would be like up, down, left, and right, or something to that effect. And maybe with a walkway in the middle or something like that. I don't really know. That's what I'm thinking. So we're going to have to factor that in. I'd probably like to use... I think the extra larges, or even the larges, are probably going to be too over the top. If I'm being honest. Cool! Yeah, these things are huge. The large ones aren't bad. We could probably do with the large ones and still keep the size relatively okay. Let me know what you guys think as far as... I've kind of already laid out the overall design, in that this shape is going to be over here. So just ignore this part. That's not going to be there. It's going to be over here where the thrusters are, but it's going to look kind of like this. It's going to go in a longer tube like a nacelle, but it'll be this circular shape with the thing in the middle. So let me know, though, in the comments from you guys' experience of how, for the relative size, I mean, we've seen that the engineering was to size, but the warp room wasn't, and now that is, so that's kind of the added extra mass type of thing, I suppose. So we'll probably be looking at close to double this length, maybe, on the front end. Maybe a time and a half. I'm not really sure. Anyways, for the relative size, let me know what you guys think as far as should I be using large, small, extra large, you know, thrusters and stuff like that, and what's doable for this size of a ship, because it's gonna be like classified as a capital vessel, but it's not really gonna be super luxurious, a lot of open hallways and stuff like that. Like, I'm honestly thinking it'll be a lot of this, like maybe a too high ceiling and stuff like that, but mostly these tunnel hallway type areas and things like that. And then when it gets to rooms, it'll be bigger open areas if I need them to be. But it's mostly just going to be as big as it needs to be to fit everything. And like I said, tentatively, we're going to be doing a bridge up here right off of engineering like that. The captain's quarters will be up on top in another layer. We'll probably be doing... I'm thinking, depending on how we do this angle shape, if I have enough room on the sides, I might put storage or garden on the side and then put whichever one in the middle. I'm kind of thinking storage on the side and then the garden in the front is kind of what I'm thinking. Let me know what you guys think. And then we'll have... The storage will comprise of weapon crates and stuff as well for ammo, and then the turrets will just be kind of placed all over the ship, I guess. I don't really know. So that's what I'm thinking so far. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.